This is Hangout number 2 for tools, and I'm Alex Pinto, and I'm going to be speaking about Zaption and VideoAnt. Let me go to screen share. Okay, so I had Zaption and VideoAnt, and as an introduction, I just wanted to speak about how online tools are helpful. Online tools allow students to expand their knowledge, and they help all different types of learners, like the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic and tactical learners. And effective teachers must happen. Effective technology integration must happen across the curriculum in ways that research shows, and deepen and enhance the learning process. So I'm going to go on and speak about Zaption. Zaption is a website where you can create videos with interactive elements such as open-ended questions and multiple choice questions. The viewers respond to the video directly in the browser, and responses are actually recorded. Zaption engagement in the classroom. Students prefer interactive video lessons over textbooks and simple videos. So this allows critical thinking within the lessons and deepens the knowledge about the lessons. So as you can see that there's examples for lessons, Harriet Tubman, or all different kinds of videos that you could even think of, and they can interact multiple choice questions and open-ended questions for the students to answer, and it actually opens discussion into the classroom. As I was thinking in my placement, I'm in a pre-K classroom, and I've noticed that they use a video a lot, and it's helpful to the students to learn and understand a lot in the classroom. Like in videos in my classroom, they've used videos for the different colors and days of the week, and then she asks students questions and do color worksheets to go along with the videos. This website would actually be extremely helpful for her, not necessarily for the students to work on the multiple choice questions themselves, but maybe do them as a class just because they are so young. And I've also witnessed hands-on toys that teachers incorporate into the classroom curriculum. Like, for example, I've seen a box with holes in it, and the students had a shape, and they were put into the correct hole, and that works on the colors and shapes. But they've actually watched a video about that first. Obstacles that teachers need to take into consideration about this website is just time, and don't make the videos that long because students don't have that long of an attention span. And you have to also take into the different types of learning. Some people might be interested in videos, but others might prefer textbooks or other hands-on activities, and student distraction goes along with the time. Students at this age do not have a very long attention span, and if the video is too long, it will not grab the student's attention. So moving on to my next tool that I had was VideoAnt. It's a website that is through YouTube. The purpose of Ant is providing a platform which students and teachers view and annotate videos. It plays the specific video, and while watching it, you and your students can mark along a timeline and write comments alongside the video. Annotations are archived and emailed to you when you've completed the annotation process, and VideoAnt works with YouTube videos as well as video files that you can actually upload yourself. So further into VideoAnt, you just have to enter a YouTube URL, and you can actually make comments on the video. I actually don't have any videos on here, but you can create them. Video annotations empower teachers and trainers to communicate more effectively with video, and they can empower them to use video to communicate with other unseen or unsaid details about the video. They empower them to engage the learner in a contextual, relevant call to action that builds their understanding and satisfies their objectives. So critical use of Video Ant is annotating videos. With Video Ant could take the lesson process a step further by creating a record that matches the various points in the video. So if there was something important in a video that you really thought that you need to be highlighted, you could annotate that onto the side and have a further discussion about it in the classroom. Critical insights on Video Ant is observed in my placement. YouTube videos in the classroom are used, like I said previously, in Zaption. It actually happens a lot. I'm in like I said, a pre-K class, and they tend to use videos a lot. She uses a lot of YouTube to elaborate on what she's teaching and bringing what the kids are learning to life, just like I had said previously about the different colors and shapes on a video, and then actually doing a hands-on activity to help them learn and help them relate to real life situations. And Video Ant allows teachers to annotate them, and the teacher can put important notes and remember what she wants to tell the students and highlight on what they're watching the video. And teachers could remember to mention this. It happens not only in pre-K, but in all the grades. And I just said an example was a teacher playing a video on mummies and social studies, and she put an annotation that she wants to mention and that she's afraid she'll forget on the side while she's lesson planning, and then she can mention it to the class if she wants to. And the obstacles are just about the same for this tool as the other tool, because it's just like time. Don't make sure the videos aren't too long, and because the distractions, and it doesn't grab the kids. It will not grab the kids' attention if it is too long. And you've also just got to take in consideration the types of learning styles of the students again. And that was all I had for my tools. So if one of you guys wants to go ahead and go.
Sure, I'll go next.
Or talk about ours.
I really like Zaption. I feel like that's a really good tool to have in the classroom because, it gives the students another way to, or rather it gives the teacher another way to assess the student's knowledge. And it's, instead of taking a test with a pencil and a piece of paper, they're able to access it using the technology that's provided for them.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like that. I really like that you could put in like multiple choice and like the short answer questions in there as well. So it's kind of taking the video and combining it together without having to do two separate things. I really like that.
Yeah, it's more of like an informal assessment in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a grade, and a lot of students feel a lot of pressure with pencil and paper on the computer. They're like, oh, it's not as intense, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
And Video Ant's a good tool, I think, more for teachers.
Yeah, not so much for the students. Right. I feel like it's more beneficial for the teacher because it allows them to make notes kind of as they're going along.
And if they were lesson planning and seeing, like, remembered some, or they were going to forget something, they could annotate it right there. So yeah, I thought that was a good one. But
definitely makes it easier since I tend to forget things a lot. It's definitely something I'd be able to use.
Me too. Okay, who's next? Caitlin, are you next?
Yep, I'll be going. So my two tools were TouchCast and Book Wizard. So I'm Caitlin Nanos, by the way. The first one I'm going to be talking about is TouchCast. And what TouchCast is you're able to create an interactive presentation by mixing videos and different content from the web. You're able to create different presentations, and you can overlay those presentations with different types of elements such as maps. You can include quizzes, and it allows the students to interact with this presentation while the video is playing. And you start a video by using a camera, and it gives you a timeline of elements like while the video is playing. And the content can be easily shared between teachers and students, making it very user-friendly. So if if the students are working on a project during class and it's something that they want to share maybe with their parents, the teacher can provide the parents with the link to the presentation, and then the students can show it to their parents when they're home. And also, this website allows teachers, and it provides them with lesson plans on how to incorporate these different types of presentations and videos into their lessons. So now I'm going to show you a little bit about the website. Okay, so this is just a little bit about TouchCast. Usually what happens is you have to use an iPad because you have the video camera that can face you, and you can also use the camera that's on the back of the iPad. And it's easy because it allows the students, they can switch back and forth, providing them with different video options. You can bring the web into your videos. So you can embed a website directly into your TouchCast. They have different apps that you can choose to add photos, videos, maps, polls. And also it encourages the viewers to give feedback while they're watching. There's different effects you can use. You can add filters, different sounds. You can set the scene, use different backgrounds. And you can also draw and add different elements to the TouchCast. This enhances the presentation, so you can draw directly onto the video, choose different colors, different text options. You can make it bigger, make it smaller. And also you can use different titles, and you can set a timer deciding how long the title will stay on the screen. And also you can choose different themes to go along with your TouchCast. So with TouchCast, it increases the student's desire to learn, and it increases the ability to present information to the class. It also allows students to express themselves like never before. Students are given this option, and it allows them to be creative in their own way. It also makes it fun for students to learn, and they're able to increase their creative potential. Kind of a downfall to using this is students may not have access to an iPad. You can also use a laptop that has a webcam, but in some cases, students may not have access to that either. So that's kind of the downfall to using TouchCast. You want to make sure that students either have access to this type of technology or you can't use it very effectively. In my placement, my methods teacher, something that she did with the students, I believe this was the second week of class, each student has their own iPad, and kind of something similar to TouchCast. What they did is they had a partner, and they had to make a video about their partner. So in the video, they asked different questions like, what's your favorite color? Where do you live? Kind of like a get to know me kind of video. Since it was the second week of school, all the students were kind of becoming familiar with each other, and it was also a great way for the teacher to get to know each of the students. Okay, so that was TouchCast, and now I'll be showing you my second tool, which is BookWizard. And BookWizard is a resource on scholastic.com. Mainly this is for teachers, but students can use it as well. It allows them to find and level books. Teachers can also get access to different lesson plans, notes about an author of a book, videos, discussion guides. You can search by grade level, the guided reading level, the DRA level, which is something that helps determine your instructional level in reading. And then you also have you can search by lexile measure, which is just another way to determine how well children can read. So it's kind of easier to show you how it works rather than just talk about it. So what you do is we're going to search by grade level equivalent. So you can just type in the name of a book. So I'm going to be doing the Polar Express because it's one of my favorite books.
I love that movie.
And it's a great movie. So what you
I just read the book the other day.
you type in the name and then hit find book if it loads. Okay. So then, okay, don't know why it's acting like this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, well, this is kind of not exactly how it should be, but give me 1 second. I'm going to try to see if I can get this working properly. And you don't have to search by the title of the book. You can also search by the author or a keyword if you don't remember the whole name. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So this is what'll come up, and you can see the cover of the book, the Polar Express, and it gives you the author, Chris Van Allsburg. And what it does, it gives you kind of a little description about the book. And then these are also over here, the free teacher resources. So if you wanted to plan this book plan a lesson around using this book, this would be a good resource. And down here, it also gives a little description about the authors or the illustrator. And if you click read more, you can find out more about that. And then also on the side here, this is a good tool. It shows you the interest level for the book, and then it shows you what reading levels it's at. So for grade level equivalent, it would be 4.9. On the Lexile measure, it's 520L. DRA is 30, and on the guided reading level, it's an N. And then it also gives you genre, so it's adventure classics, fables, folk tales, and myths, and then different themes or subjects, which would be nice when you're planning a lesson. You want to always talk about what themes you see throughout the book. And then there's different reading quiz programs. And then you can also find if you want to read more books that are similar to this, you can also, if you click book alike, it will bring up books that are similar to it. And what's also nice is you can adjust the reading level. So if you want a book that's a grade easier than the Polar Express, you can do that. Or if you want to be at the same reading level, or maybe a reading level harder or two harder. And you can also do it for, a grade easier. If you have students in your class that maybe aren't in the same reading level as the other students, this is a great way to, find a book that would be acceptable for them to read. Kind of going along with this, children might have difficulty using this website because, there's a lot of terms on here that they may not be familiar with. So they may have some difficulty when trying to find a book. Usually it's probably best if you leave this up to the teacher to use this website to find the different levels for the books. And something that just kind of relates to my placement going along with the different reading levels. My placement teacher, what she does is she meets with the students weekly. She meets with about 5 different students every week. And what she does is she sits down with them and they read to her for a minute, and she goes along and counts how many words they can read per minute and helps them with their reading fluency. So she'll based on how many words they can read per minute. They set different goals that they want to meet throughout the year. So maybe the following week or maybe the following 2 weeks, they want to be able to read maybe 10 more words a minute, or maybe, learn some vocab words they struggled on while they were reading. So just this kind of, I think, is a good resource to have with that as well. So those are my 2 resources.
I have a quick question about it.
Yeah.
Is it like the Scholastic one? Do you actually read the books on there, or is it just finding the books?
Just finding the books. You don't read them on there. You can. There are some books on there, not the one that Polar Express that I was looking at,
Right.
but some of the books on there they're available for purchase too. So if students really want the book, they're able to buy them on there. But unfortunately, you can't read it on there.
I think that's a really helpful website for teachers.
Yeah.
I find that
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
really
Like you said, I think kids would get confused trying to do that on their own without knowing what some of the words may mean.
Yeah.
But for TouchCast, was it?
TouchCast.
For that one, I like that one a lot, but it's definitely limited to classrooms that have the technology to use it.
Yeah.
It would be a lot more useful if you were able to maybe do it like on a desktop computer. If you had like a webcam or something like that, it would be a lot more versatile, I think, for different classrooms. It's kind of made for classrooms that have the technology available to them.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, some students, it's a great resource, but some students may not be able to use it just because they don't have that source of technology available to them.
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
like that they can do it's like they can make it their own.
Yeah, it's great because it allows them to kind of like customize it almost.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of things within schools are like taking away that identity part, like where kids can be themselves. And I really like how they can put what they want on it, make their own title, make their own background.
Yeah.
So I really like that one.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, Carly, it's up to you. Finish strong.
Okay. All right, so my name is Carly Pisa, and I'm going to be talking about the tools Crafty, Extensions, and Formule. Just let me screen share real quick. Okay, so this is what you'll see when you go to Crafty Extensions. So this website was created by teachers for teachers to use. So this is a tool that's strictly pretty much based to teachers. Students really wouldn't get a lot out of this, I don't think. But this whole website is based on extensions that you can add to your Google Chrome. So it includes 6 different extensions as of right now, and this website is always adding more extensions. And you can even contact the creator and give ideas for what type of extensions might be helpful for other teachers as well. Like I said, there's 6 of them right now. So for the first one, Crafty Level, this shows you the reading level of any web page that you may be browsing. So you install it and you browse to any web page, highlight some of the text and click on the icon to see the grade level as a number on the icon in the upper right of the screen. So you can go to any website and you can highlight all the information on the inside of it. And then you can click the little icon for Crafty Level and it'll tell you what grade level that the article or reading is best for. Crafty Writes is the next one. This forces all searches for images to return images that are free to use or share. So this kind of eliminates any copyright concerns for inside the classroom. So if the teacher's giving a lesson and the students need to get pictures, they can go through Crafty Writes, and this is only going to give them images that are free to share and free to use. But it's not guaranteed that everything that's going to come up isn't copyrighted, but the extension may help avoid most copyrighted images. Next is Crafty Text, and this displays larger text in the center of the screen. So you can have like an article up and you can highlight a certain part of the article that you want displayed larger, and it'll click up into like a little area in the middle of the screen, and it'll show that text larger. So that can be really helpful for students maybe looking in textbooks online, or even for teachers if they're doing a lecture of any kind that they can look at and they can use for greater emphasis on what they may be talking about. So moving on, Crafty Cursor is next. This highlights the position of the mouse in order to show where the cursor is located on the screen. So basically, like where my cursor is now, there would be like a little highlighted circle around it so that it's easy to see, you won't get lost, and you can use it to follow along when reading if you need it. Next is Crafty Zoom. This is pretty much like a magnifying glass. You can use this to zoom into sections on the screen by using the cursor on the web page. So this is kind of like an extension of Crafty Text almost, except Crafty Text brings it up onto the middle of the screen, whereas Crafty Zoom is just like a magnifying glass in the shape of your cursor, and it just makes it a little bit bigger in that place. So the newest extension is Crafty Copy. And if you create a new Google account by any chance, it allows you to copy all of your extensions that you may already have onto your new account instead of having to download them all individually. So I felt that was pretty helpful. And this, like I said, this is all extensions of Google Chrome. So you can either install them all, you can only install a couple, and I think this website is really helpful for teachers to use in the classroom and to set up for their students to use. All right, so the next one I have is Formule, and I thought this website was pretty cool too. This is a way to create forms or surveys online, so you can survey students and collect data using this website. It gives you access to every tool you need to create these forms all in one place, rather than having to use codes and processing all this information to create forms on different websites. It also allows you to test the website before you go into it, because this website, to create the forms, you do have to pay for it. So I'll bring up the pricing here. So depending on how much you plan on using the site is going to depend on how much you pay for it monthly, obviously. But if you scroll to the bottom, you can take a test drive of it, and you can create an account. You don't have to put down a credit card or anything like that, and you'll get your first 10 forms free. So you can take the test drive and you can create these forms and use these first 10 forms for free, instead of maybe paying for something that you probably aren't going to end up using in the long run. Okay, so let's go back to where I was. Okay. So like I said, you'll have to create an account to use this website, and it allows you to create 10 forms for free if you take the test drive. So I think this website is really good for teachers because it allows you to follow a template, or you can create your own. So they have templates set up for like surveys, like inputting data and stuff like that into a form. They have different templates for you to use, or you can just start from scratch and do it all yourself. So you can choose a template, and you have the option on these templates to add or erase topic questions that you want, or you may want or don't want on there. So it gives you the option to really create it and make the form your own. And this website gives you access to several different options for forms, like data collections, surveys. You can create little quizzes on this as well. And I really thought that this website would have been really cool to know about when we created our website, since we had to make that form, kind of like the student survey about the important information that it's nice to know, us teachers, about the students. So I thought this website would have been cool to have, because it would have been easier to make it than on Google Docs, I think, because Google Docs is confusing to me. But those are the websites.
I definitely like this. I definitely like the formula one. I really think that's helpful, especially like during the beginning of the year, like Carly mentioned about, like it would have been helpful like to have when we were doing our website. It's a good way to learn information about the students without, having to send papers home and fill them out. It's a good way to keep everything all in one place and it's organized.
Yeah, absolutely. I really did like that one a lot. I didn't like that you had to pay for it, but I mean, you do get 10 free. So I guess if you create 10, depending on if you're not going to use it a lot, you can use those templates over and over again. So
yeah, that's the only flaw I really saw with it, was just have to pay for it. But
yeah. And the crafty extensions one I thought was really cool too.
oh yeah, I thought that was really clever. It also like the cursor one, I would never think about something like that. Like if you were to read something on the computer and point along with the cursor, the kids could actually follow along.
Yeah.
And be more interested in what's going on. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I did too. I really liked that one a lot. That one was probably my favorite of the two. Just because there's so many options that you could use it for in the classroom. It's really limitless what you could do with it.
Yeah. The only downside, if you don't have, you can only use it if you have Chrome, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only downside.
But Chrome is a free thing that you can download onto your computer. It's not like it's free.
Are all these extensions free?
What was your question?
Are all the extensions free?
Yeah, all the extensions are free. You just download them onto your Google Chrome and you can use them.
Wow, that's like a really helpful tool for like teachers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, are we finished?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. That was Hangout 2.